Okay.
Good evening.
What's going on?
Good evening.
Good evening, African American people.
Hey, y'all. What's
And
going on, y'all?
all is well.
Okay, Alicia's running a little late. Charles is in the meeting. They'll both be here in a few. Y'all got y'all agenda, so we know what we're going to be talking about. So how y'all doing? How's the weather out there in Texas, Sandra?
Oh, shoot, the weather is great. We having spring over here. You know,
It's so hot, we got to have the windows up here.
Man, I turned on my air conditioner. Well, I always have on mine, but hey, today we needed it.
Yeah, are you crazy. Kidding me? You had the air conditioner on?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Savannah, yesterday, you probably need to cut the air conditioner on because Savannah got up to about 80 degrees yesterday.
Ooh.
And then today, it dropped back down to a kind of low between, I guess, 55 to about 60, but it was raining and the wind was blowing. It was a little bit chilly today.
And that's the only reason, because it was raining.
Yeah, but because it would have been a little bit warmer if it didn't have that wind and rain, itself. And they had a overcast in the sky most of the day. So, that's Chatham County weather. One day summer, next day fall.
Well,
yeah, I don't know why it's like that, but it is. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, if you live here long enough, you get to be accustomed to it. We don't really get the full seasons in this area. We get too hot, cold. That's it.
That's it. Welcome to the South.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dirty side.
Julius, you look real good, bro. Everything is good with you?
Man, running like crazy, doing everything I can. I need everybody to get on here and share. Do everything that you let me see, who is that? Melinda Gwen Thornton is saying good evening from Cloverdale.
Good evening.
Cloverdale residents doing out there. Good evening,
Julius,
Melinda.
when I say you look good, don't look like you missed a meal in a couple of weeks. So that's what I was alluding to. So,
Okay, yeah, I got you, Charlie. Don't worry about it. I got you. We ain't finished with the show yet. We got 2 hours. We're gonna see who get the last.
Oh no!
Hold on, I'm on the wrong thing too. I had the wrong stuff up.
I was thinking.
Let me make sure I got the right stuff up. Yeah, I got it up now.
I was just thinking about food, and hot dogs, and they got hot dogs for signature. That's our first topic.
That's our first topic. Hot dogs for signatures.
And don't forget about donuts as well now. Was they glazed donut or cake donut? I'm kind of picky. I like glazed donuts.
Donuts look a little stale. They look a little old.
Okay, those cake donuts.
From the 912.
Y'all got to caveat the what we're talking about first of all, because we broadcast to people all over the world. I'm in.
You're absolutely right. Well, Julie, you want to give a little back? You want to give a little backstory on what we were talking about? Those signatures for hot dogs and cake donuts, because you said they look a little bit stale.
Yeah, what we have is the Salvation Army is wanting to move on a piece of prime property in the West Savannah neighborhood called Prince, and it's a section that used to be the project called Francis Bartow. And the federal government is giving the Salvation Army that. But we know that it is not conducive for that area to have such a facility there, because you're bringing poverty on top of poverty. You're bringing a shelter. A shelter represents poverty. It brings everybody in who are impoverished. And now in the low poverty area, you're bringing that. What could it do? All it could do is make the area more depressed. So that's one of the problems. That's part of our problem that we're trying to fight it. And yesterday they had was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? They had the guys out there. They had some community leaders from 3 communities around that area out there trying to give people hot dogs to change their views. And that was a shame, it really was a shame. So y'all can
and you know that's real sad, because for the fact that if they hadn't been informed, and I think it'd been a talk about, and they were very concerned about going over there, because you need something to boost that community, because I'm not going to say the third world, but it treat like the third world country right in West Savannah. I'm saying it needs some economics, something that can be very positive. I'm not saying helping the homeless and coming up with housing is a bad idea, but not a good idea for that particular area.
Exactly. And I just feel like this is designed, because first of all, the west side, that's the west side, West Savannah, and they have been pushing for economic development for a long time. And you mean to tell me the best that you can do is put something that's not going to garner any economic development over there? In fact, I would say that it's going to boost crime, poverty. I mean, of course, it's going to push poverty, because it's a homeless.
That's what it's set up to do, to bring in the homeless, the ones with the least, be coming through the community. And I know and I understand what they're attempting to say. So it is a bright light, but again, that is the wrong area for it, in my opinion. And
Exactly.
what I'm saying, what it should do is to look at some place that it could be any place, as far as I'm concerned, but that is not. You need some economical. You don't need people coming through the community or looking for, they're homeless. And there's nothing wrong with, I understand their purpose, but it's not a good purpose. And we have to understand, if you look at the rest of the city, Savannah itself, how Savannah downtown, how they done revalidate with I can't even say the word, renovated downtown. Look at all around Savannah and look at across the Viaduct or the Dorothy Bonds Bridge, Bridge, that's what it's called. You got almost like a third world country. It looked almost the same when I passed through it 40 years ago campaigning. It looked identical, almost the same. Nothing have changed. Drive down Augusta Avenue. You need economic growth and not what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
They are out of line. They are out of control. If some of the leaders don't see that, then they need to be voted out. Now, I'm going to let you speak and I'll be quiet, but I'm going to say this. I don't want to do political anymore. I want to retire from it because I'll be a certain age soon. What I'm getting at is that I might come back out of retirement. I still consult with ATR. Julius and I are still partners. I still give information. But you cannot go along with that. You need to build that up like you build up downtown Savannah, which is a half a mile away from it or less. Go ahead.
Answer that question right there for me, Sandra.
Why is it that Leonard Harris said, why is it that the city official has to fight after a decision is made, and why they don't have a seat at the table, yet we're feeding off the crumbs that a that is falling from the table. Now, what city official is that? Are we talking
I
about
think he's talking
Lanier?
about all city officials,
In
why
general.
they didn't get ahead of the curve, why they didn't see that this was coming and fought it before it happened.
Well,
And
well, first of all, who's making the decision? Because if this is going on to, if this is going into this area, it's being voted on by the city, right?
Yeah,
it's being voted on by Metropolitan Planning Commission, voted to change the zoning for it, for the property. Once they change the voting, it's up to the city to accept it and say, okay, we accept it, because once that happens, the federal government and the HUD has already given the land for probably $1 to the Salvation Army to build that facility. Now, I think that it's a bigger plan. I think it's a 20-year plan, but we'll talk about that in a second. In a second, we'll talk about that. But that's part of the problem.
Well, that is part of the problem, because and who knows? Some of the city officials might have been at the table, and I'm not throwing stones. I'm not going to throw stones, but a lot of times you do have, people like like the mayor, they're making these backdoor deals, without consulting the people. Hey, Kwanzaa, you're not consulting the people that the leadership in that area, and shame on Mayor Johnson if, first of all, he does not know or did not know about this, and shame on him if he did know about it and didn't discuss it with Bernetta and get her opinion on it, and they're
at large, are the two at large individual, because
or the
they
two
represent the whole city.
Exactly. Because I understand that we have this not in my backyard type thing, and Palumbo might be saying, no, you can't put it over here in the 4th district, and Purdue might be saying, that wouldn't fit over here in the 6th district, and everybody is throwing it and saying, well, where might we put it? And they say, oh, I have a good idea. Let's just put it over there where we put it where all the other, things
that they dump whatever they want to dump.
Yeah.
You have to realize a couple things, and it really mind-boggling to me is that Van Johnson served the 1st district for 16 years. And I'm saying he should have had presence of mind to say, no, that's not a good location, because we need economics over there. We need a strip mall. We need supermarkets. We need to build up that. Look at the 1st. Look at the rest of Savannah. When you cross that bridge, you're not in Savannah anymore. You're in a small another country to a degree. And I'm not trying to what's the word? Somebody help me out with the word. I'm not trying to exaggerate, huh? Exaggerate. Thank you, Mr. Hall. I'm saying drive down Augusta Avenue and take a right or a left, and you'll see what I'm talking about. People hear what they see. They need to see it, and then they can hear exactly where I'm coming from. And I'm going to say it one more time. People, the community, drive, go look. People hear what they see.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Augusta Avenue, Bay Street, and Waters Avenue, and there was there's been Montgomery Street and Martin Luther King. All of them have had studies conducted, and they've had plans developed, because I was part of the economic development team during that time. Way back in the year 2000, I worked for economic the city economic development, and they have those plans. Augusta Avenue had a plan, but the city of Savannah has been notorious for wasting the taxpayers' money on all of these plans, and nothing has been done with those plans. They might be good tabletop door stops.
Let me get a couple of more questions. Let me get a couple more questions. Y'all try to make it brief on y'all answers, because y'all giving some damn answers that take a scientist to get through. Jerome Irvin said they don't want SCAD students looking at the homeless, so SCAD will buy the building if they have not already. That is true, Jerome. It is a bigger plan. That's part of what it is. Even if the Salvation Army buys that property over there, they might keep it 10 years. They put the $5 million building there. 10 years from now, somebody might give them $20 million for the building. They go build another building somewhere else, and that property brought for $20 million might be worth $100 million then. And they might put a $50 million company there. So it's a long range. They outthink us when it comes to things like this. Look at the properties right there next to the highway. All they got to do is build a little access to go right up on the highway from that. Great for transport companies. Great trucking industry, man. We ain't nobody crazy. Ivan Cohen said it wasn't hot dogs. Wasn't it hot dogs and room temperature bottled water being handed out for a signature? The word, Charlie, is revitalized regarding downtown historic Savannah.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Thank you so much. It's the same principle applied to what they did to Chatham Apartment. They went in through the back door. Somebody else purchased it. Then they turn around and purchase for them for $10 million more, and they put everyone out, and they're gone now. If you go up on Applecorn Street, they're renovating it for SCAD.
All right.
Answer Rose's question. Rosa said, were the residents notified? That's a good question.
They were, but they were notified by a sign being put on the property. Nobody's driving by this property. Nobody walks by this property. Everybody drives by. So who's going to stop and read that damn sign telling them that? This is how they do slick things in our community. And they probably did advertise it in the paper, but who's looking for that property to be in the paper? And it takes a committed alderwoman, alderperson to give that information out. Renetta was not the alderperson at the time that all this was taking forming. So you can ride right back into his lap, and there's some underhand stuff going on. But
Van Johnson knew. So Van Johnson knew what was going on, or he should have known, and he didn't inform the people.
I think, again, here I go, and really, I don't think he worked as hard when they had the MLK and a bunch of corridor loans and stuff, and believe it or not, blacks did not get a great deal of those loans. It was given to white businesses and white people. I know for a fact, because Charlie Brown has something to do with the economic development. We developed a lot of black businesses to open up businesses, but the loans was not given to them. They give them small micro loans, $1,500. Now, what you gonna do with $1,500 but hang yourself to a degree? I don't mean metaphorically hang yourself.
I think that the highest loan that was given to any black business during that time over there. If you're talking about the Martin Luther King corridor and the Montgomery Street corridor loans, the highest loan that was given to any Black business was in the range of about $25,000.
It was average when the ones who did get it, they had a few, 1, 2, 3, to my knowledge, got $100,000. Now I'm aware of that because Sylvester Gann and Patrice Grant was the loan officer in the entrepreneur building, right?
Yeah.
So,
but those loans were supposed to be extended to Augusta Avenue
corridor, right?
Corridor and the 52nd Street corridor also, but they never was.
Okay.
It never was.
Okay, we can't stay on that forever now. Sonia Leroy Stanley said, now on the real. I remember I was a young teenager and would go to my grandmother's house on West 35th. The city came through and fixed the row houses, painted, put in new appliances, and when one year it looked worse than before. I'm saying just to say we get our neighborhoods revamped, we have to take care of them. You're right, Sonia. You're right. We do need to take care of them. Okay, Charles, what's happening?
Hey, how y'all doing, man?
Hey, Charles.
Good evening, Charlie Brown. How you doing, man?
Okay, we got a couple of other questions. Is this causing division in the community? And I think it is because you got so many people for it without even understanding what that's doing to their community and their property value. And you got a lot of people that understands it and knows what it's doing to their property value. So it is causing division in the community. What you think, Charlie?
You say Charles?
Charles,
he's trying to get you to engage.
My bad. I'm trying to catch up. I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time.
Oh, no, we were talking about the property out there at the Salvation Army property.
Okay, yeah.
Causing division with the residents out there.
Really quick, who had the hot dogs for signatures? Who was the party involved with that?
And Charles, and the cake donuts. They had cake donuts, not regular glazed donuts.
They upgraded the donut quality. Okay, so who exactly was the person?
But you had three community leaders. You had the Woodville community leader with Tyrone Ware. Then you got the West Savannah community leader with what's her name? Charlie?
Oh.
The West Savannah community leader.
Marsha
Postell.
No, Buford, isn't it?
Buford.
Buford is Postell Buford.
But and then you got
I didn't know that.
And then you had a guy that everybody knows out there. We call him Heavy. What's Heavy? Greg Sanders. Yeah,
and they are in support of this Salvation Army going up in that location
for some reason. Well, you know, Marsha and Tyrone are banned people. Heavy is not one of the banned people, but Heavy has other motives for doing it. So you know.
Well, again, we have the disclaimer that aspect of it, but still, he's one of the.
Everybody got a motive. There's got to be some motive. If you out there giving out free hot dogs,
I think I just.
You went mute, Charles.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
I'll be more than glad to answer for him.
Go ahead.
No, I personally was a little concerned about the hot water. People could get a stroke yesterday because it was 80 degrees. And plus those cake donuts could have very well choked you pretty bad because glazed donuts go down a little lighter.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, Charles.
Okay, I just want to know who would be the person to tell us how many signatures they received on Thursday. Who's going to be that person to proclaim that they received X amount of signatures and we know they got them via hot dogs and cake? That's all I want to know. Who's that person?
Well, I don't think they're going to tell nobody how many signatures they got. Because I saw 2 or 3 people just go get the hot dogs and they ain't saying nothing. So they're not going to tell anybody.
You know, I'm very shocked at Marsha because, well, She grew up in that neighborhood right there on Norton Street. And I'm shocked.
Yeah,
That,
who you think paid for it?
well,
Salvation Army, who?
I think the van paid for it.
That's a good answer.
No.
I think what's sinister is that it seems so innocent. Let's support the homeless. Why aren't they supporting the homeless? It seems like these people are so sinister, like they can't get down with supporting the homeless people. But yet those same people are saying, but no, please listen to what we're actually saying. And they're doing all they can to steamroll them so they can continue to put out this agenda that someone else doesn't like the homeless, so that this $1 billion company can plan a location in a location that wasn't supposed to have a location. But yet
Right.
they want to do.
But like I was saying before you got here, I've been driving through that area close to 40 years, and it looked almost the same 40 years ago. They need economic growth, and to get economic growth, you got to put vendors there that's going to create that. All this going to create is homeless people, which I'm not knocking them because they need a place. Homeless people and different people coming through there and tramping through there, looking for a place to live or whatever through the Salvation Army. That's not fair, because West Savannah is only less than a half a mile from downtown Savannah. And you look at downtown Savannah and look at West Savannah, it's a third world country.
It's a shame.
Not hold it.
It's a
Let's
shame.
talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. Someone is not seeing it clear for some reason.
Melinda hit on a great point. She said that, the base, they never question anything if they're for it because the mayor is for it, And again, I'm saying shame on him. First of all, he was in that district for 16 years and did not anything.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to use my colorful words, but he did not anything.
Mm-hmm.
And even now that he's not in it, he's sabotaging that same district, Anyway.
No, I mean, yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. It's one of those things you see again and again, and you just hope that it wouldn't have happened this time around. And now we have to go back to the drawing board and say, well, Van, I guess we got to get you out of there now too. And we got to be against Van Johnson. When I think no one wanted to be against Van Johnson, but Van Johnson was able to secure a real good base of people who really support him hell or high water. So as long as he has that support, and the news doesn't really tell us the truth about what Van Johnson's really doing, because they're with the agenda too. There's nothing we're going to be able to do except keep talking out or try to get people to understand what's really happening here in Savannah.
Well,
Jerome has a good question.
He is y'all Trump of Savannah.
Oh, ain't no question. Somebody made a good point last night, Reverend Smalls. Let me read this question real fast, and I'll tell you what Reverend Smalls said. Why put a place like that in the same area as the school? You don't know who's going to stay there, child molesters, murders, whatever. That's a very good point, Mr. Jerome.
I will say this: that point right there is the point that the shelter is trying to put out there, that's what they're against. So as long as they say that extreme stuff is going to happen, molesters, murderers, all that stuff, it's going to be hard to really get a compromise. They're going to keep on fighting for that location. If that's the only argument to be made is that there's molesters coming in our neighborhood, they're going to start talking about all the locations they have that have no problems. So as long as that's the argument, it's not going to go anywhere. I think that you have to really bring forth a real place to something that can really replace that and show how that would really bring value to that location versus just being so against that shelter, because that's the fight they want to have. They want to have the fight that you guys are against homeless, and then they're going to say, well, these are good people. So
I'm gonna tell you what Pastor Small said last night on Lisa Blakely's show. He said that Donald Trump has been the most detrimental president to the black people in the history of this country. And he said on the same note, Van Johnson has been the most detrimental mayor to the black population in the history of mayors in this city. That was
He
powerful.
stayed there, Julius?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
It was powerful.
Wow.
But this all goes back 30, 40 years, 30 years exactly in Savannah, because this is all the status quo that has played out in Savannah since Mayor Adams left. You know, because none of them, from Otis on up to Van, had all of them have worn our jerseys into that seat, but have not played for our team. I promise you that.
And all the press is playing into it. Just like Tanya said, the Savannah Morning News had residents on the front page saying that they support it, but they didn't say nothing about the people who don't support it. You know, so it's all a little cliquish thing that they got going on. See, I told you it's a bigger plan. This is a 10-year, 15, 20-year plan to take that property, because, see, the federal government just can't give it to a company. It has to be given to somebody else. It is there. They keep it like they really supposed to want to do something there, put a nice project there, and then 10 years later, they sell it for $10 million, $15 million. They only put it up there for $5 million, take it somewhere else, and then they sell the land for $35 million. Somebody put a $50 million project there. You know?
Okay, I want to just come to the defense of Otis Johnson for a minute. And Sandra, you did say, you know, but Otis made effort to actually do Black economics. He did. He made some attempt to get it done. And again,
with his friends and family. With his friends and family.
Excuse me?
With his friends and family.
No, he did try to do it all over. Trust me, he did. And I'm saying Otis should have maybe concentrate more on West Savannah, but Van should have been the running back who run over that and should have took it to him, what I'm saying, and say, we got a problem. We need to concentrate in West Savannah more, because it looked almost the same, you know, at that time about 30 years ago. I'm saying Otis did make an effort, because I worked with him on his initiative to make a difference. So I have to defend that.
What y'all think the vote gonna be tomorrow? John McMaster said it's always a 5-4. It's gonna be a 5-4. I think you're right, John.
Okay, John is right, because Van already done talked to Purdy. He done talked to the guy in the 4th district. He already done told Dietrich and Linda how they need to vote. Duh.
And y'all see what I was saying right here? Don't forget, West Savannah is home of Georgia Port Authority and all the warehouses and the logistical services. Cash, 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 cash. The value of that community is far more than we will ever imagine. I tell you, they're outthinking us with this. We're worrying about some hot dogs and worrying about what they're doing. They're really putting that property there so they can take it 10 years from now. That's all that is.
Exactly. And that's the same way that they're going to take that. That's the same thing that they're going to do with the fairground and wipe out all of those people surrounding the fairground in the next 5 to 6 years. You know, I mean, it's a master plan. Good plan, but it's a master plan.
Do y'all think it's going to bring the crime rate up, or whether the crime rate will decrease?
Van, I mean,
that's a tough question, man.
if you have a concentration of poverty, and you have a concentration of people that, I mean, when you have a concentration of poverty, Julius, you can only have the things that go along with poverty and low education attainment and all of that. So of course you're going to have an increase in crime because you're going to have an increase in policing.
Yeah.
Bang in the pocket folk. They should have listened to Renetta. Charlie, did Otis put what he said in your book, in his book from N-word to the mayor? He said, I never came across it when I read the book. Okay, let me ask y'all something else. Will property values rise or fall?
They're gonna fall. I mean, but you don't have high property values over there anyway, because.
Well, I mean, still, listen. If those property values decline, and then people get so frustrated that they want to move out, they don't do anything to the area already. What they saw is that they've been planning to take that part of the city so it's so close to downtown. But people have been living there for 50, 60, 100 years. They still stand there. So the city thought that they would move so they could take that property, their form of gentrification. But these people are still there. So they're going to eventually get them out by fixing the houses around them, taking the property values up, and then making them get out with the property.
And so
because they won't be able to afford it.
So eminent domain on a lot of the properties to take the property away, with the new sports arena coming as well. So they still need economic development. They don't need the Salvation Army building over there. It could go someplace else. I don't think the community understand just what's taking place. Some of them, maybe the leaders over there hadn't explained it, but Van should have. He served them for 16 years, and I didn't never see a clear communication between him and certain community. It was pretty cliquish with him, with certain individuals over there. Now, I'm just telling the way I saw it.
They say who's behind the plot, and like I said, who paid for it, who's behind it. I don't know. We'll see who is behind it. I guess he's banking on. Y'all think he's not running again? I know he's running again.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He is running. I do believe that he's bold enough to run.
He cannot, in light of what you said, just sampling us and sampling others I've talked to, he's not going to run again. He already got a benchmark. Van Johnson was alderman or whatever in the first district for 16 years, mayor for 4, and that's 20 years. Van Johnson will not run for re-election. I'm telling you, mark my word. I've been doing politics a long time. I'm not clairvoyant. He have no reason to run. He have accomplished everything he just about accomplished, and that's why he's acting the way he's acting. He's not going to pander to you because he's not going to come back out and ask you to vote for him. So if you believe that, then you are whistling Dixie.
What you think, Charles?
What, if Van's going to run again or not?
He's not.
Man,
come to the black community.
I don't know.
Doing West Savannah that way.
I don't know. I don't think he could with the same sort of fanfare again. So for Van, that might be tough to go against. There won't be a fanfare. There won't be a lot of people supporting him publicly. In my opinion, it's hard, especially not some of the voices I know. So I don't think he will.
No.
I hope he doesn't want to. I hope he feels like he didn't succeed. I hope he feels that way because he can see what's happening.
Enough is enough. Okay?
Yeah.
That's 20 years. Enough is enough. It's time for him to go. Let some new leadership get in there and change the direction of Savannah. He is stuck in the mud. He is stuck in the mud. It's the old saying go. He's stuck in the ketchup. He's stuck in the mustard and can't catch up.
I think that he is underestimating the will of the 7th district. I think he's underestimating the influence of the 2 aldermen at large. I think he's underestimating the influence of the 1st and the 5th district. And I know that he's underestimating the influence of the 7th district. The 7th district, y'all, I know everybody's saying, what is the 7th district? There is no 7th district. We are the 7th district.
Well,
and he's making a major mistake thinking that those 3 people that he had out there yesterday has more influence than me. I told all 3 of them yesterday.
No.
I got more family out there than all of them put together.
Well, I feel, well, first of all, Van has also a vested interest because Van created a company, investment company with old Mayor Johnson years ago. And they started buying up some of the houses in those areas, you know. So he has a vested interest in those areas of them, you know, the areas going down. So he wins. He wins whether he loses or not, you know. Because when the area starts to be gentrified, you know, when the white people start coming in and they start, I don't know if y'all remember the old 38th Street between Bull Street and not West Broad, but Martin Luther King, when they sold that whole thing for $15,000. Y'all remember?
Yeah.
Well, when they start doing that in chunks to West Savannah, he still has a vested interest. So, I mean, he's not going to lose. None of them are going to lose. That's why Otis is still sticking his little head still up. You know, that's why he's still getting contracts with the city.
Okay, last thing on this, John says he's running and will narrowly win. Cutting his foe is the only way. Well, I beg to differ that he will win, he will narrowly lose. Because he has too much going against him. It's just too much going against him. He's underestimating us, and I like to be underestimated. He is underestimating the influencer, like I said, the 2 other women at large who will not be supporting him. He's underestimating the first in the 5th district who will not be supporting him. And the 7th district is more powerful than all of them put together.
That's so hard to say without knowing who the candidate is and he will be running against.
We don't care if it's Mickey Mouse.
If he's running against a weak candidate, he'll win.
Well, we're gonna try not to have a weak candidate.
He really can win. I know he can win here. I'm not.
Yeah, he can win here because
it's just a numbers game.
The only thing that the Black community in Savannah is looking at is putting a Black candidate in the seat. And if that's all they're looking at, they're never going to get representation. And that's what I was saying 5 years ago when I wrote, you know, what have you done for me lately? And Julius, you were against me when I said it. And I'll keep saying it, that even though you have my skin color, does not mean that you play for me.
That's right.
That's correct.
So
I give you an A+ on that.
To tell me that you are sorry, sir.
Okay, we spent 45 minutes on that subject. It got a little, you know, and that's great, you know, because we need to get everything out.
Sorry, sir.
Huh?
I said I need for you to say you're sorry again.
He's not going to do it.
No, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry again. I've already apologized for what I did in that campaign. So Charlie has also, because Charlie was out there holding signs. Hell, me, Charlie, and Van was in the Highlands holding signs. Me, Charlie, and Van holding Van signs. We got pictures. All of us out there. We got video. You know, hell, I'll show y'all the video right here. Y'all see it right there 1 second.
He's not gonna get that kind of support.
Look at that. Who that is back there? That's me and my wife. That's Charlie Brown back there sitting down. He couldn't stand up. He was there too.
I wasn't there. I was in the Highlands, but I wasn't on that picture.
A lot of those people are from out of town. Don't let this fool you that he has that type of following that everybody's going to vote for him. That's not going to happen. We're going to cut that down. So he only won by 4,000 votes. 4,000 votes, all we need is 2,500 of them, and we got that. So we know that he can't win. He ran against a weak candidate in Eddie, and believe me, if Charlie been doing politics for 40 years, I can tell you who's going to win the race or not.
Cool. But let's go on to the next subject, y'all.
Next subject is U.S. attorneys resigning all across the nation.
Wow.
All across the nation, they're resigning.
Are they Republicans?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
They need to.
Well,
that's good.
They're resigning because they know that they're about to be replaced, so they might as well look for a new job. That's the same thing Trump did. They didn't have to resign when Trump did it. Trump came in and fired every last one of them.
He fired actually right at 92% of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's normal when you have a new administration.
Administration,
a lot of them
sweep of the new broom.
Yeah, when the parties change, that's true. How about the Black Kentucky state attorney general? They're calling for him to resign on how he handled the Breonna Taylor shooting.
His ass need to.
That's only $5. Don't worry about it.
He need to resign.
Julius, can she say bunkie? Do you get fined for that?
Yeah, you can say bunkie. His butt. Okay. You can say all those things.
I like bunkie better. His bunkie need to resign right away. Now you can't find me for that.
He really does, because first of all, he lied, and then they brought out that he lied.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, come on.
Yeah, Trump and stuff. But then we got all the Trump guys, all the rioters. They're turning on Trump.
But you know what? Gil? I believe that if they don't convict Trump on something, on inciting the riot, I feel like they should let all of them go. Because how are you going to not cite the person that incited the riot and the people at the top that incited the riot, but you're gonna hold the people that went into the White House, the Capitol, you're gonna hold them accountable.
Insurrection. Gotta learn how to say it.
Sandra, your $5 got rescinded because Deidre said AZZ is not a cuss word, so your $5 got rescinded.
Thank you, Deidre. Good looking at that girl.
Kentucky residents dropped the ball. They need to organize and prepare for 2022. They did. They should have got rid of Mitch, and they didn't get rid of Mitch.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I really think that in this whole riot thing, even though I know all the white people will be happy for me to say this, that how can you hold a few accountable and not hold the rich accountable? And this is going to be a rich man, poor man, dumb man thing, because these people were brainwashed and they dumb. These people knew what they were doing.
Sandra, what they say, and listen to this, and it's so important. An attorney for one of his clients say his client need to be deprogrammed because Donald Trump is a cult leader, and they got to. I'm serious. He said it on News Today. because Donald Trump, now Charlie Brown been saying Donald Trump been a cult leader for the last 6-7 months, and it kept falling on deaf ears because he have tendency what he does just like a cult leader does.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not going to agree nor disagree, but I'm just saying that if they don't hold Trump accountable, how can you hold the people accountable? And then I'm going to go even further to say that from now, if we're a nation of laws, okay, I feel like from now on, if we get away with something, like if I happen to go in a bank and then if I can get away with it, I feel like everybody should say, well, she was able to clear the bank. I feel like, you know, we should just move on.
What you're saying? You might rob a bank because I need to know your address because I'm gonna turn you in. There are 50
no.
reward for turning in people rob.
If I am able to get out of that bank without getting caught, you know, I think that they should just let me go.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Move on.
Right.
I learned my lesson. You know, I should learn my lesson, and we should move on. We should pour more flame on the fire.
Okay. Well,
it's hard to make sense of it. I'm telling you that much. It's
you're absolutely right.
Exactly. You know, white people got a way of making sense of the bull crap that they pulled. Okay. But if we were to say the same thing, let Obama do that.
Lights out.
That's correct.
Lights out.
Correct.
You know what they want to put in jail? They want to put Michelle Obama mama in jail as well. I knew for a fact.
Exactly.
So let's not get into that. That's deep.
The little kids, all of them. All of them would have been.
And the two little dogs. What's the two little dogs name? Mutt and Jeff, them little black dogs.
Yep.
They went to the pound.
They went to the pound. Everybody connected with the Obamas would have been in.
Yeah. Anybody calling his name would have went to jail. Next subject. Biden's first 7 days since we were on the presidency. Biden's first 7 days in office. He's been in there 7 days and signed a whole lot of executive stuff. Tom, you waiting on that thing check like me?
No, I was gonna say he has a really good good grasp on what he should do right now. I think he's pacing himself. I think he's putting out a lot of information. He's not scared to say the words black and equality. Now he's going a little heavy-handed with some things to please a lot of people, but I think that it's gonna start getting pulled back a little bit when people start looking at what he's really doing. But he's going hard right now, so I can say good job, Biden, for now.
Yeah.
I like to say thank you. You're so kind to mention that. But you're dealing with a guy who's been in Washington for 45 years. If he don't know how to play quarterback and do things, no one else can do it the way he can do it. You might not agree with him, but he understands the game of politics in Washington, D.C. And so I give him an A-, not an A+, because he still hadn't done some things to help some of the black people would need to be helped. And I call it like I see it.
Yeah.
What kind of things could he do right now, Charlie Brown?
What he could do is get those stimulus checks a lot faster. The rest of it to me, because I need it. My Social Security money is not enough.
But what do y'all think about this shelter in place? Will there be a shelter in place for a certain amount of days?
I don't think nobody else in America does. I'm sheltering in place as much as I can.
No.
I don't think anyone the message from the president to do what they're supposed to do.
No.
He got it in federal buildings now, in all federal buildings. No. So I think that's the far as his depth to go.
That's just the mask. We're talking about a shelter in place.
No.
Like, don't leave the house.
No, that will not be
No.
a good political move right there.
No.
Not,
So y'all
not
think
right
that?
So
So
is there
people
X amount of time he's suggesting or something that you got? What's the amount of time?
No, he's
90 days.
not even mentioning anything like that. And the reason why, and it's a smart move for him not to, because why would he even mention something like that when we already have a vaccine on the horizon? I mean, we already have a vaccine, and I mean, the people from the last administration, he's exposing the fact that there was never a plan in place. You know,
this is my thing. I need y'all to answer this for me. You talking about the vaccine? Okay, you got. They just ordered 200 million more doses. That's for 100 people. Because if they order 100 million doses, they can only give it to 50 million people because they cannot give the 100 to 100 million. They got to save your 2 shots. That's the law.
No. One company, Derma or something like that. That's 2. The other 2, the one hadn't been approved yet, is 1, and
Johnson has one.
Yeah. So if you're gonna get it,
vaccine,
Joyce, if you're gonna get it right, I want you to make sure you do your research, and I don't want you coming on saying that the 2. Now the VA is using the 2. I think it's Derma or something like that, Sandra. I'm not 100% how to pronounce it.
Charlie,
But the other,
I did do my research. There is no 1 yet. The 1 has not been approved yet.
It's 1.
They got a 1. They ain't been approved yet. They got 1 shot, but it's not been approved yet.
No, it's 3 companies. It's 2.
Right.
It's
but
2
one of them
American.
got the 1 shot, but it's not been approved yet.
And the one they're trying to approve now is 1 too. What I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
I look at news every day, all day, just about.
Mine on 24/7.
But you don't be looking at it. You be on Zoom because I know you be on Zoom. So why are you telling me that?
And you be somewhere talking.
So we have two companies on right now. Both of them need 2 shots.
Okay.
You have to have 2 shots.
I'm not going to argue. Right. I'm not, all right, whatever.
And 1 shot is not available yet.
Yeah, the 1 shot is not available yet.
Okay.
But
should Biden make a move to turn over Donald Trump's tax returns?
Hell yeah.
Again, Julius.
Well,
should Biden make a move? All you got to do is sign the papers to turn over Donald Trump's tax returns.
I'm gonna say no to that. I think they had a lot of time to do that. They couldn't get it done. It's no need now. We know who he is. It's no secret. We'll just try to.
And guess what?
Yeah.
It's a hot mess. You know it, and I know it. It's a hot mess. Who cares about that hot mess now?
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like the state of New York is going to do that, and they have already said that it's not protected. They said that about a month and a half to 2 months ago. Said that it's not protected. So I mean, it's just a matter of time until it all comes out.
Well, I got a public service announcement. I want everybody to stay tuned because our next subject, we got one other talking point that we're going to discuss with this here, Biden's first 7 days. But call all your friends. Tell them to tune in because we have a subject that's coming up that we need you all. I got 14 comments. I'm behind. I don't know what Charles doing over there. He don't even put comments up no more.
I'm not logged in today. I'm just coming in.
Okay. Yeah. I got 14 comments. I'll get to them in a minute. But we got something coming up in a minute. And I need everybody to be here. We're gonna ask y'all, when is it a good time to speak ill of another black man from a black man, a black person? to a black person. So let's get back on this subject, the last question for this subject. But y'all call your friends and tell them, we fit to talk in a minute. I got to put these comments up because I know I'm behind. I don't know where Alicia Scott is tonight. She was in a meeting running late. So I got to go all the way up to the top, and read some of these comments. Ivan, you still messing with Charlie Brown? Biden is still getting his cabinet members confirmed as of yet. I not heard who the Secretary of HUD is. Probably going to stay Ben Carson because he's staying in the project. I know he can't be keeping Ben Carson around.
Ben Carson didn't do anything.
Michael Harrison, no shelter in place. The World Health Organization has downgraded the pandemic. Oh, they downgraded the pandemic, so no shelter in place. I didn't see that yet. Did you see that? All the news that you watched?
To piggyback off of what Michael just said, you know who has not proclaimed that the virus originated from China? They backed away from that statement, and no one knows why.
Oh, okay. Sharon says very smart move, not to mention shelter in place is not necessary at this point. Malvise Robertson, he's still crying, laughing at you, Charlie Brown. The one has not been approved yet. I told you, Charlie. I don't know what news you stop watching Fox, Charlie. They're getting out false information. Who has the FDA approved regarding drug companies? Nobody, probably. They just putting the drug out there. I think it's something wrong, Ivan, because they got too much of this damn vaccine available and ready already. So I think they put it out here. I hope they're outside listening. I think he should do that. I think he should. I don't think he should do that. Rose Bailey said. Rose Bailey said she don't think he should do a shelter in place. What about the school in Savannah that received the vaccines already? We're going to talk about the schools in a few minutes. Melinda Gwen Thornton, stay back. Call your friends. We're going to talk about the schools. The last thing on our agenda is the schools. But we got a hot topic coming up next, and that's blacks speaking ill of other blacks. And people tell us we shouldn't do it. You tell a damn lie. It's going to happen every day here. If you mess up, we're gonna talk about you. Let me get to the other question. Matt Anand is the new HUD secretary, sworn in January 21st. So we got a new HUD secretary. Deidre, I think by turning it over will show his base as how broke he is, and that will embarrass him even further, and his base will be embarrassed. That's good. I think so too. They should release those tax returns. We've been waiting on for 5 years, and the American people deserve them. We need to embarrass Trump to the point where he has never shown his face in public ever again. He's an idiot and a clown. Martha Fudge, HUD, I thought. And the last one is never is a good time to do that. Never is a good time to do what?
To talk about black people? Oh, no.
To talk about black people? That's a damn lie. We're going to talk about them. Because if a black man go down Broad Street shooting every damn body, you don't want me to get on here and talk about him? What, you want me to give him a pass? If a black man is giving all the money to one district and not giving any to West Savannah where me and you grew up at, you don't want me to talk about it? No, Sharon. I don't think any time is a good time.
Are we right now? Are we about to get to it? I'm waiting for it to get on the screen.
Yeah, we there now. We going straight on to it. We gonna get to it, and let Charles start out on it.
If you don't want to run your city like your church, then yes, you can speak negatively on people who represent you, especially if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I really believe this town should definitely have more people speaking out against things they notice. Instead of just having their friends' backs, for sure. Maybe not negatively in a negative way per se about their character, but definitely point out things they aren't doing that they should do, and always call them to the table for it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Charles, because we are not the Republican Party, and the way the Republican Party is looking bad right now because they don't want to call Trump to the carpet,
right?
And they're looking real bad right now.
They're condescending. They are condescending, whatever those funny words are.
Yeah, I mean,
they're terrible.
yeah,
I've never seen nothing like it. 45 senators say they're not going to vote. They want the Nikki Haley as well, saying that she's not a senator, a former ambassador. She said, you know, we should just let Trump off the hook and let him go in spite of what he did. So,
my bad, Charlie Brown. With that, if people don't tear into these people really, really hard about what they're doing right now, what they're saying against their legacies and what they're saying for the United States, that this insurrection will not be spoken out against as long as you wear the same badge as the people who did it. And I think that's not really fair to the country. I think they really need to stand up for themselves or get taken out of those positions of power because they're not really using any power now. They're bowing down to Trump, even though he's out of office, which means that Trump will have some political power after this is over. So I think they should
again, in spite of what he did, it's terrible in my opinion and yours. But Donald Trump still got 74 million votes, and that's what they're looking at. And a lot of Republicans want those voters to vote for them. They want to just stay in office. Period, with a dot behind it.
But
stay in power.
But where do you draw the line? You know, where do you pull up your moral compass? You know, and that's what we have to think about as Black people. You know, we can be Black, you know, and say that another Black person. I mean, I would never let what's the guy's name that died? Speaking out for he was at that rally, Julius Herman McCain.
Yeah, Herman Cain.
Herman Cain. Herman Cain died speaking out for Trump, you know. And he ran for president and all of that. You know, was I to say that he was, you know, a wonderful, one of my wonderful leaders just because he ran for president and he was Black? No. Every Black person does not stand for me. And I'm sure that I don't stand for every Black person. You know,
right? Every Black person, and what I think the world sometime and we as Black people and white people viewed us, all of us are not the same. All of us are not the same. For instance, I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I'm straight up independent, and I vote that way. Me personally, I try to vote for the best person that can make a difference that will affect my community where I live at. Now, I do look out for my people first and foremost because we've been behind the 8 ball forever. And I'm saying I'm not going to change that, but I try to vote for the best candidate. There are a lot of bad Black people out there, just like it's a ton of white bad people. All white people are not bad people. Okay? Let's get it straight. And I will talk about another Black man or Black woman if they're doing the right thing. I'm not going to protect them just because and have double standard because they're Black and they're doing the wrong thing. That's wrong. That's my opinion. You know, I'm fit to retire from all this, but I'm giving you my opinion.
I was going to say too, with Van alone, some of those people who misled us during the election and the campaign, I feel like they know what to say to us to get us excited, to get us. They know how to blow the whistle for Black people. They know how to say things like inclusion and equality and diversity and make us excited when they had a whole different group of people they were trying to get on the table, get into the table. I feel like he has a big program and things he wanted to put in place, but he didn't bring anything to the table for us to talk about. So we. I guess we got shammed again, so we just got to go through the election cycle again. Hopefully, vote Van Johnson out and start over. So that's all we have.
And let me tell y'all something. It used to be a time that I loved Van. I used to work for Van.
Mm.
Van was my mentor. Okay. So don't get it twisted when I speak against Van, because I know Van. I worked with him side by side when we worked at Chatham County in human resources. He got me my first management position, when I was director in the business management office in Chatham County. So I could be a bootlicker for Van Johnson, but I'm gonna call a spade, because I'm not one of those status quo type Negroes that's just gonna say, oh, he's good with me because he's lining my pockets. Because I care about the whole of the Black community for Savannah, even though I don't live in Savannah anymore. I live in Houston. So hey, guess what? It don't bother me because I'm making my money over here and making money over there.
Well, let me say, since I was letting y'all get y'all piece in, I think that we should call out anybody who's a detriment to our community. There is no passes. There will be no passes, not even for my damn wife. Will there be a pass? She does something wrong, she gets called out too. I got plenty of family members in public office. They get called out if they do something too. So don't think that there's going to be a pass here at ATR. There will be no passes. If you do something that's detrimental to this community, we will report it and we will give you our views. We're not going to all be the same, just like everybody here is not, and just like all the viewers are not. They're saying that there is no time that we should speak ill of a person. That's a damn lie. You're out your damn mind if you think that. Then, that's somebody who's not engaged.
Yeah.
Sandra, it's something important what you're saying. You are in Houston, but you got a lot of family and roots right here. So Savannah, Chatham County should be in your own interest for your kids, your grandkids. You have to play ball, and we're going to play it right. You're in Houston, but you do have interest in this city here.
Yeah.
Okay?
I have a home there. I have houses there.
Right. I just want the people to know you do have value in Savannah.
Exactly. I have value there.
You live in Houston, but value in Savannah.
Value in Savannah.
County. That's all I'm saying, my friend.
And then even Kamala, Kamala Harris, the Madam Vice President, if she gets into, she's there now. And if she does not, she is my Sarah and I love her.
Correct.
She looks like me and she's my Sarah. But if I don't see her supporting and bringing things to the table, I'm going to start speaking out and say, hey, the same way I felt about Obama. Obama did not take as much to the table as I felt like he should. But he didn't have as much going for him as Biden has going for him right now, because Obama definitely didn't have a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, and him,
Right.
Right.
I want to say this, Julius. I want to say this. Julius Hall, scratch your gray hair if you want to. Julius Hall don't get a pass as well. He quick to throw a rock and bust your window pane out. He don't get a pass as well because Charlie Brown don't want a pass, and he don't get one. Charles don't get one, and you in Houston definitely not gonna get one. And that lady who like to go to the Indian place and eat, she don't get a pass when she come back for being late too and not giving us a reason.
Exactly.
I want to ask a question to those viewers who are out there saying that there's never a good time to do it. How do we hold them accountable? Because if we don't bring it to the attention, because everybody isn't paying attention. So sometimes we have to make sure that people are listening. We have to make sure people are advised. So if somebody's doing something wrong, how do we make sure that the general public knows what is going on if we don't call it out? You're saying that we're supposed to let whatever's going on happen. But just like one of the viewers saying, they're not giving those four sisters on city council a break. They're not giving them a break. You got 6 black, you got 5 blacks yesterday fired the first black female director of CAT. Fired her yesterday. So you rather be fired. So you don't want to say nothing about those 6 people who made sure that she, 5 people that she got that were black who voted against her. And without cause. It seems without cause. It's always a backstory, like Charlie says, but we don't give a damn about the backstory right now. The backstory is not more important than the front story.
Well, and I hear you, but again, they can't discuss it. Why they fired her? But there is a backstory, and I understand. But I can't. What I'm saying to you, I don't know enough about the backstory because there's she might have signed a contract and to say if you don't do certain things in 6 months, then we're gonna terminate you. I don't know if that exists. If she got enough ground, she can sue Chatham County and say wrongful termination. Although Georgia's a right to work state.
At will state.
At will state. But still, I'm saying I don't know enough about the backstory. There had to be something that caused them to decide that. I don't know. Okay.
But why is it that she hadn't been working there long.
6 months.
So my question is, how can she get terminated in 6 months, from a position, and we can give a white woman in her position a whole 3 years to get it right? See, that's what I don't like.
But again, she might have signed a contract. I don't know. I don't know how the contract reads.
No, you make a very, very good point. I was going to say the same thing. Like, we don't know the backstory or anything else, but not often do you hear about it after 6 months somebody get voted out.
No.
And I don't know how the CAT works. And I heard the CAT didn't have the best history in the past anyway. So how did this uprising happen for her in 6 months when the other people had to go to prison before they realized, so I just don't know, it's a lot.
No, he did some shady stuff that caused him to go to prison or whatever. And he was black. And I'm not going to hold back. He was wrong. He was screwing black people. Trust me, too, okay? What he was doing. There's no double standard. There's no double standard here. When we find out the backstory, the commissioners, they can't discuss it because she used to work for the county. She know you can't discuss that. Tell me the rules, Sandra, please.
Well, you can't discuss personnel issues, but I'm saying that why do we always jump to, we would jump to a conclusion. We always jump to conclusions it seems like we jump to conclusions quicker on black people when it's time to vote out.
No. Not me. No.
I agree. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm saying.
Yeah, but not me. Not me. I'm not the most righteous person.
Okay.
I'm simply saying I know about contracts. I don't know if she had 6 months to prove herself and she did not make the deliverables. I don't know.
But listen, we're not discussing her right now. We're discussing the people who got rid of her, okay? That's who we're discussing. When is it a good time to talk about them? That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
What are your thoughts, Mr. Duke?
No comment.
My thoughts are that anybody that is a detriment to my community should not be spared the rod. I'm asking that those people, I got 12 of them up here, I guess, so I better go back and look at it. Anybody that does something to this community, there's no way that we should be quiet about it and wait to vote them out. That's an asinine ass answer. And that's ass with ACC. So y'all can't charge me. But listen, if you do something to this community, you need to be held accountable. Point blank. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hell, they held me accountable. Hell, hold everybody accountable.
yeah.
Ain't no different than nobody else.
Nope.
What they're doing is no different. It's a sin. You know?
Yeah.
So let's see what these people are saying. I asked those people who think that it's never a good time to respond. Let's see if anybody did anything. No. Mel B still laughing at Charlie Brown. Holding our people accountable must be done. We cannot be afraid to call out our own. That makes us better. You are absolutely right, Ms. Ray. You are absolutely on point. It is only when we call out people so we'll know not to recycle these people like it is being done now. Tabitha O'Dell should not be recycled. Al Scott should not be recycled. We got rid of them. Why are you bringing them back in our life? We voted for these people to get the hell out of our life. And that's hell with 2 L's, if y'all got that right. Ivan Cohen saying, the era of past and putting other blacks on the pedestal is over. The lady will be back with her hairdo, and Charlie Brown will melt like butter. You tell me Al Scott will be back like her hair with her hairdo, and you gonna melt like butter. Is the feed freezing up for everyone else? My keep freezing up. I don't know. It might be on our end. We might have too much stuff going on over here. They might be Comcast. They might be calling from City Hall with Comcast. Jealousy is at the root. I still ain't got no answers from those people who said never is a good time. You know, so I need to know. Deidre Graham said, all I know is that she was lying in her article in Savannah Morning News. Oh, she was lying, Deidre? You gotta tell us about that.
Yeah, I'll tell you something about it. She said that a few people had misappropriated funds. She has stated a few people. Yeah, that's out there. So that was the article today, like this afternoon, about 3:00. So
Who?
Oh, the CEO, the one that was released, her statement, and she wrote a more thorough article with the news and told them more things about what happened and the insider stuff. That I'm sure she can't tell everything because
right. It was done in executive session. I don't know whether she was in executive session or not, but I doubt that she was after they fired her. She could talk about anything she wanted to talk about, but those on the board couldn't because it was done in executive session. Sharon say hold them accountable in a setting whereas they can respectfully defend their actions. They didn't respectfully govern right, so why should we respectfully hold them accountable in a nice, comfortable setting? No, call them out so they have to give the answer to all of us. See, that's backdoor politics that we are trying to get rid of. Nobody wants to go backdoor to do anything.
Miss Chisholm isn't all the way wrong because we would expect those people to want to come forward and explain themselves. But what they'll do is listen to us and not want to come forward and explain themselves because they'll say we're just attacking them. They don't want to listen or talk anymore. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. If that person is somebody like Keisha Gibson Carter, Alicia Miller Blakely, Bernetta Lanier, somebody who we know fighting for the community every damn day. Yeah, you ask them that in private because they're fighting for you and you know they're fighting for you. But somebody who's selling you out every single day, no, you don't ask them nothing in private. Ain't nothing private about what they do. You hold them accountable in the media. And we're going to do that here. At least I am.
Yeah, I understand.
Can't fire me.
Well,
You know,
Julius,
fire
Julius,
Charlie, but you can't fire me.
well, you know,
Julius, excuse me, son, Julius, do you have a cash app?
Yeah, send me some change.
Because they need to send you an offering. What a sermon. I appreciate that. And you definitely need a love offering. And Sandra, Charles, be sure y'all post Julius need a love offering because he definitely preached a good sermon. Thank you, sir.
We got a love offering. Y'all, I don't have it on here. We got it on one of them things where y'all see, look at the bottom of the screen. It tells y'all where to send money. We need to stay afloat here. Y'all help us out here. Y'all share, invite, like, and follow. Go to All Things Relevant Media on Facebook. Go to ATR Black Media Network on YouTube. We are there. We are moving. We got great shows coming up. I'm talking about awesome shows. We got some stuff. We even got a late night show coming up in about a month or less than a month. Late night. Mr. Charlie, you'll be up till 2 in the morning watching this show. Because it's on the Howard Stern type thing. It's
can
late
we cuss
night.
on that show? Can we cuss
Late
on that
night.
show?
It's coming out of Tennessee. It's coming out of the state of Tennessee. The state of Tennessee. My big partner, Malvo, Albert Malvo. He's gonna be doing topic of discussion after dark. Y'all
Julius, you think I might be on that show because all night
we gonna have all of us on the show, all you, everybody who wants to be on the show. He has 1,000 viewers when he on this show. He's bringing that to our platform.
Can I cuss on that show?
Yeah, you can be on that show. If your information is a fact and not innuendo, call them out. It will help to get more integrity in office. You're absolutely right. Clinton just posted something saying that Tabitha and Helen Stone plot because of a grudge. I said that.
Yeah, well, I agree with John.
I know what I be talking about. You know who the troublemakers are. And we know what Tabitha O'Dell does. Trouble everywhere she go, but she couldn't even govern for the 4 years we had in there. Never say the word until it was time for re-election. No, I ain't scared of her, the damn judge.
Let me ask you a question. How is Tabitha O'Dell still even on that board?
Because they put on, favors were done, and people put people in these positions just like Al Scott is on the hospital board. Y'all got to stop recycling these people we got rid of. When we get rid of them, let them stay with the county commission.
They're getting appointed. They're not even getting elected. They're literally getting favors into these positions.
That's the recycling. They're getting appointed to these positions by the elected officials.
Yeah, walking them right in there.
We got Michael Harrell. Government works best when the politicians are afraid of the people. That's correct. They should be afraid. Sharon said, "Thank you, Charles." Malvish, he's still laughing at Charlie. Thank you, Chandra. It's Chandra. Somebody needs to check Mr. Hall blood pressure. You're damn right you need to check it because I'm tired of these damn fools. Every time we elect some clowns and we appoint some clowns, everything happens bad for our community. Everything. We can't rise because too many of y'all holding your feet on our neck.
Exactly.
Check my blood pressure. You're right.
Tony, come get your husband. Tony, come get your husband.
Julius, the lady said, well, pass my bedtime. She must be clairvoyant. She know me well because I'll be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Hey, it's crazy, man. I'm talking about it's crazy. It's just crazy. These people with the promises made, promises broken. So they make promises to us, Sharon, on the campaign trail. They tell everybody all these great things they want to do. They tell us about the table leaf that they want to insert into the
Savannah table.
The table. They tell us about all those things, and then they don't do them. So we're supposed to call them to the side and say, "Hey, mister, what you do?" No, the paper Keisha, Alicia, Renetta, and Estella already calling them out. Y'all see they don't want to comply. So you want us to still be nice to them. Really? Really?
Julius, we got to keep an eye on the county commissioners as well, too, and make them accountable, and the chairman.
And
also, it's not just the city.
Yeah,
we
Maggie got recycled to the pardon board, board of pardons and parole board. That's them recycling their people. They do that. Right. We can't do that. We shouldn't recycle bad people. The Republicans have no compassion. They will recycle bad people. We don't. We are a people of compassion. We're always the first to forgive, the first to do everything, first to put the olive leaf out. Everything. We cannot be the ones who are always conceding when we're not wrong. If a person is wrong and has been detrimental to our community, we got to showcase that. It will be done here. There's a new narrative being formed. Ain't a damn thing you can do about it. There's a new narrative being formed. There's a group of us that are woke now. And when we woke, then we hold people accountable.
But you know what? There was supposed to be an action committee formed. I think it was in the 2nd district that it was supposed to be formed, but it should have been formed to an action committee should have been formed to watch out and grade the whole council, you know, on each of them on all of their platforms, you know, from the at-large people to all of the districts, you know, because by midway through their tenure, they should be getting the same way we talked about it, Julius, a couple of years ago. Midway through their tenure, they should be getting performance scorecards.
Well, yeah, we were going to do that with Project Hope, and it's going to be done through the thing. I'll hold up Charlie and Charles. I'll cover your face 1 minute so I can read Melinda's thing. Just drive through the 1st district, and you can see the promises that were broken. We must support our warriors, Lanier, Keisha Gibson, Colin Blakely, and Shabazz, and expose the promise breakers. Then come with recommendations for better. That is absolutely correct. We have had promises made, promises broken. There's no sense in him trying to do something the last year. You need to recoup right now, Mr. Mayor. You need to let Deidre and Linda have their freedom to vote like they want. And Dietrich need to take his vote back from Linda so he can vote on his own and be his own man.
But see, if they're not going to do what they promised that they would do, and if they're not going to be for the people, then the people need to, I mean, somebody needs to get a full page ad in the Herald, the Savannah Tribune, and a couple of more places, the Savannah Morning News. I don't even know if the Black people read the Savannah Morning News, whatever, and call them out.
The only reason I got it is because it's free at the office. When I go to the office, they give it to me free.
Okay.
Well, it's not a paper choice in Savannah in the Black community.
That's the only reason I got it, because it's free every morning.
Well, they need to be called out before it's time. It's time.
Well, the thing is, Sandra, we're forming our own narrative now. This is a part of the narrative that's being formed. We don't have to. Savannah Morning News fired everybody down there. They done brought in somebody new, and now it's a black chick, and she's doing the same damn thing. So
it's a new company
addressing anything to
them. It's a new company on it now.
Huh?
It's a new company on Savannah Morning News. Not
right.
the Martin
Mike Trainer got fired. Yeah.
And they terminated, I think, most of the employees who was working at Savannah Morning News.
What's that dude's name that used to be the editor before?
Mike Trainer.
No, Mike Trainer. He was the publisher. The editor, Tom, what's his name?
Tom Barton.
Tom who?
Tom Barton.
Tom Barton.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tom
Barton. Tom
Barton,
Barton.
yeah. Tom Barton, yeah. Melinda said we have been committees and task force of death. You are absolutely right.
You damn right.
Form a committee and a task force to address everything in our communities, and the committees and task forces make no progress whatsoever. Y'all share this. What you say, Charles?
I'll tell you something pretty cool. So at his year mark, he posted a post that stated to remind people about the task force and the numbers instead of a update in a year about some things he's actually done in a year. So that lets you know in a year's time, he reminded us that there was a task force in place. Don't worry about what he's doing. The task force got it under control. So in the next 2 years, he's going to do the same thing again. Remind us that there's a task force looking at it to elude himself of all the, all the responsibility of what was supposed to be happening. It's going to be on the task force. So nothing's going to happen. Van Jackson is going to slide through again, as if it was up to other people to do something about the crime here in Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely correct, Charles. That is absolutely correct. That's just what they do. Task force, they tell you the task force ain't got the numbers right. We're compiling the numbers now and getting all the data for you, and we'll bring it out. But they don't do anything about it. Van is underestimating the whole city of Savannah, and he could be doing great things. I had great. I thought that he should be mayor for one term and then move on up. That's what me and him had these conversations. Me and Van had conversations that Van forgets about. But before Van, a year before Van ran, who he had lunch with every week, every Wednesday, every other Wednesday. Me, every other Wednesday, me and Van having lunch at Betty's or at the place over there on the Geechee Road. We had lunch every time. He wanted to make sure he got me out the way so I could get Renetta, Victor, and Pam out the way.
And me.
And Sandra. Yeah, I forgot about you. And he told me about you too. What you say, Charles?
Oh, no. She said he was sinking his teeth into you, man. He did his thing to you, man. Then he moved on.
Then told that lie, tell me he paid me. He ain't paid me a dime.
Charles, I'm going to have to support
what you say.
I'm going to have to support what you say. He did a good job on him. And he went out and he did his very best out in West Savannah. And that's why Van became mayor, because we had words that Eddie Deloach could have very well beat Van if we didn't go and do certain things. And so Van did sink his teeth in him and got him going on his side real well. Now, Julius, can we do this? Do we have any closing remarks? Y'all guys want to make?
We got 20 minutes. Your clock broke over there or something? We got 20 minutes and we got.
Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. It's almost 9 o'clock and I'm getting a little bit sleepy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, just fall asleep. We'll handle it. We're going on to our next subject, and that's school reopening.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, we got another topic then.
Yeah.
All right.
We do. We got another topic, school reopening. Y'all know.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna tell y'all about the school reopening. Okay. Yeah. First of all, they had a study to come out with CDC. I think it was today, and they said that there's nothing wrong with the schools. I mean, schools have not been impacted by community spread, even though that there are, even with around the school, COVID might be spreading, but they have not linked too many cases back to the school.
But you know why? Because prevention is better than a cure. If they're not in school, how can they infect anybody? It is even with the people that are going to the schools now. The schools are you got teachers dying, Sandra, all over the country. Teachers are dying. You got janitors dying. You got kitchen personnel dying. And you're talking about sending these people. The only reason that article can have any truth to it is because they're not in full on-site schooling yet. They're not doing full on-site schooling.
That's not true.
With the hybrid system that they got some days in, some days out, that has helped, believe me.
I'm gonna tell you something. My child has been in school since September or August. Whenever they started back to school, Chris went back to school. All the teachers went back to school. They went back to school with masks. We live right here, Houston. We live in Fort Bend County, which is right outside of Houston. It would be like Pooler is the Savannah. And there has been no, I mean, all we do is we send our kids to school with a mask. But right there in Houston, which is Harris County, they have not gone back to school. They've been doing, their kids have been doing the virtual school. And you know what their kids have been doing? More than 60% of those kids are failing. They're failing school because they're not in school. You know what my son is doing? He's passing school. And all of our kids, a lot of our kids are passing school because they're going to school with masks. They're in-person learning. Now they have the option of you in our school system. You have the choice. You have a choice. You can either in-person learn or you can learn virtually. So nobody's forcing you to go back to school. You know.
Still make my point. I'm sure that everybody's child is not in school. How's the infection rate there in Houston?
Not
in the school system, in the general population.
Oh, we throwing up numbers like damn Shaq and damn Kobe.
I mean, you mean you get that many people catching it?
Hell yeah, man! It's horrible here.
Then that's perfect example. That's what's taking place.
Yeah, but in the school system, so I'm talking about even in Fort Bend. No, even in Fort Bend where I live at,
right?
The infection rate is high, but in the school system, there has not been, we have not had to close down our schools because we have had any cases.
So everybody should go to school. So everybody should just go to the school then. What you say, Charles?
Now, you make a good point in a way, because right now that school doesn't show any cases. But when there is one case, I'm pretty sure you're gonna expect them to shut the school down, though, right?
What? Yes.
Okay. Because we know we can't protect ourselves from COVID for real, and that is inevitable that every single school is going to at least get that one case eventually. Why even bother to go ahead and put that one kid or that one teacher or one janitor as a sacrificial lamb for those districts, just so they can get more and more time in or credentials in? I think they need to find a better way to teach the kids if e-learning is tough. Maybe bring in some new tools, but to keep people alive is another thing, but to teach them is another. So if they need to get better at teaching, okay. But to keep your kid alive, my kid would not be going to a school. I don't care how low the rate was around the school versus the city at all.
Well, I just feel like the kids in Harris County they're really missing out. And Harris County, which is Houston, the socioeconomic rate is just like Savannah schools to
maybe
Richmond here.
Just like Tanya say, as students are passing school, people are passing, and that's true. You got a hybrid model, e-learning and virtual instruction. Michelle Ray say, are you sure? Because lots of things are kept under the rug. Yeah, a lot of school systems won't even be telling people that these teachers are getting sick But they're taking precautions here because when it comes back and those school systems are being sued, and then y'all find yourself without money in those school systems because they got sued and got to pay, it's a different thing. Not the case. My son's school went back to virtual because a student's parent just tested positive and their kid has been in school all week. It's going to happen. These kids' immune systems are better. They're going to give it to the janitor. They're going to go give it to the kitchen worker. They're going to give it to the teachers because they got to touch the same thing.
Bring home to grandpa and grandma.
Yeah, and then they're going to bring it back home to the grandma and grandpa. Hell no, they shouldn't be in school. Many of the teachers are quitting because the teacher population is the largest employer population with underlying conditions. That's correct. Because they sit down all day and teach and don't have a health plan. And somebody's saying preach. Who's you talking to, Gabrielle? Who's preaching? Charlie Brown must be, because I'm not. Red, stay home. It's on red here, Terry Mobley. Right, Dr. Hall. Which doctor you talking about? Me or my wife? Now let's say also my son's virtual school is very engaged and interactive. They don't just give packets and tell them to turn stuff in. They actually teach them virtually, which is awesome, Natalie, because a lot of people are crying about their students can't take 1 year off. Like 1 year off is going to kill them. What's going to kill them is if you go to that damn school and give it to somebody else, or you're going to take it and give it to Charlie Brown or somebody out there, buy some partner right there, and he go there to the store.
Right. I want to clear something. I want to clear something. Dr. Hall is Tanya. He is Reverend Hall. It's a difference in the two. Okay.
There's a difference. There's a difference.
One year is not going to hurt a child. 1 year is not off from school. Is not going to hurt a child.
But
I don't care.
More than 1 year though, Julius, and these kids.
That's because of Donald Trump. He should have shut everything down. Then you wouldn't have to be in this situation.
But if was a fifth, we'd all be messed up.
It don't matter. If is a fifth now. If is a fifth.
But
why the rural counties having school? These people don't care about their kids. That's why they having school. They got all of them with $500,000 insurance policies on them. So they don't give a damn whether they die or not. And yeah, I see it.
That's a tough one.
Brian.
Julius, that's another tough comment. That's another tough comment, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I back it up. I said what I said. They don't give a damn about their kids. They don't want a babysitter. They got them insured, so they take a risk. Send them to school, let the teacher take care of them for 8 hours so I can go to the tennis court, so I can go to the country club, so I can go shopping with Daisy Lou.
Yeah. No, that's not true. Because
the pros have entered the chat.
My thought for sending my son back, because y'all know Chris, you know Chris, Jew, you know that Chris would be home not doing his work because he's interactive right now because of the fact that we had he got sick and he had to have a COVID test. So they made him stay out for 10 days, even though the test came back negative.
Look at this lady right here. She said these babies need to socialize in person with other children, then have more kids for them to socialize with. Your 1 year of your child taking off from not being social is not going to hurt him. Let him be social with you at home.
No, I felt like my son learns better in person. So that's why I sent him back to school. He could never learn. He would never learn, Deanna said impeach 46. No, let's not. We need to impeach 45, I think. But we're not going to even talk about that. That was last week's topic. But I feel like this, we all know how our children learn best. And my son learns best in person. So that's why I sent him back to school in September.
Okay. Why
Well,
is an argument? If you don't know your history, you are destined to repeat it.
well,
History tells us this very argument results in deaths
if they
without
doing
question.
if they doing a good job on virtual reality, I understand the social connection, like Julia say. 1 year ain't gonna kill them, and I think if you're gonna shut it down, you don't need all that exposure. A lot of grandparents out here, and they bring it back home in their immune system.
I want to say something real quick. I saw a article just to put this out there because true. One school had it was 16 or 19 suicides in that middle school and high school, and they had kids as young as 9 years old taking their lives in that district. But so truthfully, this is different for kids, and that's why a lot of kids are going to fail right now because this is real different from them. Maybe they do need a teacher. Maybe they do need a lot of things to help them with their education. But like Ms. Julie said, it shouldn't kill anybody because the parents should step in. A lot of things should happen, but we don't have that. We're going to have a lot of dysfunctional homes, and a lot of people try to send their kids to school to get rid of them. So again, some kids can adjust, and some kids have taken their own life, but nobody should die in these conditions. You know, we've been through worse than that. So hopefully we can all make it through again.
Well, that's true.
Again, I didn't say too much about the school because I don't have any kids. I do have 2 grandkids in school, and I am concerned. And virtual reality, however they doing it, I think it's been working pretty good for them. They do their homework and they got class instruction. So they don't have that social togetherness because they're on Zoom. But my grandson, he get on Zoom and talk with them after some of his classmates. So again, I'm gonna wish y'all guys a good night. It's almost 9 o'clock. I'll see you next week.
We'll see you later, Charles.
Okay, thank you so much. Miss Sandra, you take care. Charles, I like the hairdo. It look good. Again, it's improving. And Julia, give me that Cash App so I can send you something for an offering because you need a love offering, my brother. And others out there, remember, share, 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 share. Call a friend, share, share, please. Good night. I got to go to bed now because I'm a little bit tired. If I don't do it all night long.
No, you only up until doggone 9. What the hell are you talking?
So is this a black-white thing? Because you look at it in the rural counties, they're sending their kids to school. Even in Savannah, at the private schools, they're sending their kids to school. But more blacks are more protective of their kids and saying, no, I'm not sending my child in there to give it and then come back. Because see, we are more of a nurturing type family. And so we gonna come back home and we're gonna take them over to grandma's house. So you taking that child that you just got from there, and I gotta go to my second job, I'm taking it to granny for her to keep the kids. Now, the child just got it from the teacher who's been out to the club all night, and now the child finna give it to granny.
No,
it makes a lot of sense, but you're still trying to tell people to put seatbelts on nowadays too. So you know,
well, seatbelts is forever.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. We all know what happens when you crash without a seatbelt on. You're probably going to die. It's probably be more severe. So if you're telling people not to go to school or go to school, and they're making a choice to go to school, or they're making a choice to not take those other options, then they're taking a chance. But nonetheless, they might survive it. So you know.
But there's a difference, Charles. You're taking a chance with your life with the seatbelt. You're not taking it with a child going to school, bringing that disease back home, that virus back home, and giving it to the grandmama. That child is taking a chance with somebody else's life. It's a good point, but you know it can be rebutted.
Mm-hmm. I can't say that it's a black-white thing, Julius. I think that it's you know, I feel like in some ways it's a political thing, you know, because it's been politicized, you know.
It is being politicized. But the thing is, when you say it goes right back, if you say politicized, then you got black-white, because Republicans, yes it is. 95% of this country is white Republicans. Don't even go there. 95%. So if you say it's politicized, it is a black-white thing.
But then you have me. I'm Democratic.
You
but
only
my
got
son,
5%.
but my son is going to school because I'm feeling like, hey, he's going to learn better if he's in there.
Well, that's what we're saying. Some people learn better being there because they don't pay attention when they're home because nobody's watching them. Okay, we got to go through these real quick because we only have 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Savannah Country Day is in all these schools here. They all in school every day. All these schools are people in school. That's why the infection rate is still high. These people are bringing it back and giving it to every damn body else. I'm telling you. Me and Charles, this is our topic for Saturday. We need to go there today with the police.
You know who goes to all these schools? Country Day, Calvary, Savannah Christian. All of those are Republican schools.
Exactly. And Republican means what? Right. So you make my point for me. Y'all share this show. Y'all, we come and we try to bring you all the information that we can get to you every time we can get it to you. We got some great shows. Y'all tune in tomorrow morning for Mona Lisa Monroe in the morning, 10 o'clock a.m. She's going to be bringing you some great stuff. I got to load all her stuff up when I get off here. And then Friday you got Incarceration to Incorporation. Then you got the A.R. Scott Hour. We got a comedy show coming somewhere up in there. Friday after that, we got Financial Sins coming. It's a financial show that we're going to be doing. We're going to have 20 shows on before the end of February. Y'all just make sure that you keep, I said January, but we're trying to upgrade some of the shows while we're putting on new shows. So y'all stay tuned. We're doing it here. We're giving you the information. We're trying to form a different narrative for our people so we won't be given the narrative by the white press. It's nothing racial. It's just that we wake up every morning and we do look in the mirror. I want any of y'all got any parting words, Charles?
No, I'm good tonight, man. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you guys for watching, and tune in next week. We'll have some exciting stuff going on, I'm sure.
Some exciting stuff going on. Okay, we'll see y'all next week. Don't forget the Rabble every Wednesday. Before the Rabble, you got Jamal Torre with Run Tell That. But make sure y'all tune in tomorrow to Mona Lisa at 10 a.m. in the morning. 10 a.m. in the morning for Mona Lisa in the Morning Show. And then you got Jay Jones is coming up in a couple of weeks with his show, Community Talk, Itis. It is what it is. So y'all stay tuned. A.R. Scott, Friday night at 7. Friday night at 9. We got Incarceration to Incorporation Friday at 6. So y'all tune in. We got a bunch of great shows. We got Anthony Maben, Voices in the Struggle, starting this Sunday. So tune in. We out of here.